She told us everything. Don't worry, I kept my word. She didn't suffer long.
This is not what you would expect out of a Metal Gear Solid game. The darker tone of the plot, open map to explore, variety of side missions to take on, and the change in gameplay mechanics makes this a large departure from what I expected of a Kojima game. This entire system works together to create a very fun prologue that succeeds in ramping up my anticipation for the Phantom Pain. Story is integral to any mainline Metal Gear Solid game, and Ground Zeroes benefits from being a somewhat standalone tale. While playing Peace Walker beforehand would be beneficial, it's not necessary, and a handy option on the game's main menu is a catch-up slideshow of text explaining previous events. Paz, a young woman who betrayed you, was captured by her previous employer Cypher, and is being held at a black site in Cuba. Chico, the young rebel who had a crush on her, set out to save Paz but failed, being captured himself. Mother Base, your headquarters, is about to be inspected by the UN under suspicions that you're carrying nuclear weapons, which you are. As Big Boss, or Naked Snake, you set out to rescue Chico and Paz, leaving Huey, who's Otacon's father, and Kaz, your best buddy, in charge of taking care of the inspection. The tone of the story is dark, with hints at various torture methods implemented on the people you'll come across. The ending scenes may disturb some, and one part certainly had me squirming in my chair. Once at the black site, you quickly are introduced to the various controls used, though most will be familiar to MGS veterans. You will still be crouching and crawling your way past guards, but much has changed. Snake can now sprint and climb up certain walls too. The cardboard box is sadly missing, as is picking up and dropping knocked out guards for item boxes to pop out. Knocking on a wall to distract is also gone, and a soft cover system has been implemented, so Snake can stay out of sight and out of enemy fire. You can also tag and track enemies while focusing on them through binoculars and down the sights of your weapon. This ability is a great addition, since the map is large and open to explore, unlike previous games which followed a pretty linear pathway. Another new ability is Reflex Mode, where Snake enters slow motion upon being caught. You are given a few seconds to knock out whoever saw you before they raise the alarm. While this is on by default, it can be turned off, and the game even gives bonus points for disabling it. Taking on these missions with guns blazing will most likely end in death, as enemies respawn infinitely it appears, and your accuracy drops significantly after a few sustained shots. Stealth is still the way to go, knocking out guards with tranquilizers, interrogating them for information on the map, and choking them out behind cover. Being spotted usually ends with you restarting from a previous checkpoint, as you will want the maximum points possible to attain that S ranking at the end, which is only achieved with no alerts, no kills, and a quick completion time. You can also add points by extracting special targets and prisoners. Instead of Fulton Recovery used in Peace Walker, you call in a chopper at predetermined points on the map, and shove whoever you want inside. These captured characters are supposed to carry over into the Phantom Pain, as it will have the same Mother Base metagame found in Peace Walker, which I enjoyed very much. David Hayter is gone, and his absence is a gigantic sour point in Ground Zeroes. Kiefer Sutherland is fine as Big Boss, but not hearing the rugged voice I had come to expect in every Metal Gear Solid game was just off-putting. You also have a Walkman, which plays Peace Walker highlights, and you can set your helicopter to play Ride of the Valkyries whenever it appears. There is only one map used across the multiple missions, but all of them vary in looks, as the black site during a dark and stormy night is very different from one drenched in the sunset or the misty dawn of a new day. This game will also appeal to score chasers, as the short length of the mission entices you to just try one more time to get through it quicker, and with more points. The main story mission does only last about 2 hours, since you won't know what you're doing, and can be cleared much quicker once you've got your bearings and know the map and your objectives. The side missions average about 10 minutes or so, and are great for replaying again and again with different approaches. The game itself is just very fun. Running around as Snake with prisoners on my back, sprinting to the helicopter blaring a Peace Walker medley is fun. And it's just so nice to have another Metal Gear Solid game on console again, even if it does feel different from previous games. There was even a point when I had taken over an APC to wreck shop on the soldiers that the game felt more like Grand Theft Auto than Metal Gear Solid, mostly because I was running over guards and causing explosions as I drove around the base. Ground Zeroes is a great prologue that whets my anticipation for the full game. It's also a great standalone game as well, telling a short story connected to Peace Walker, and offered a fun sandbox in which a variety of missions were available. Overall, I would give Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes an 8.5 out of 10.